Welcome to another episode of Poison Touch, the podcast where Mr. and Mrs. Emma Frost give you all the best and worst advice to deal with all of life's predicaments. Today, I am joined by not the THEAFROB, as some
No, not
people
the
will tell
frog.
you. I am joined by the Afrob, not the
Cue
THEAFROB, not
applause.
the as fuck Rob, none of that. It is the Afrob. Don't get it twisted. Um, yeah,
It's the
pause for
Afrobeat. And let me
applause.
tell you something. A lot of people read my user handle incorrectly. And usually it upsets me, but I've learned that I can only do so much against what George Bush has done to this country. And I'm not talking about 9/11.
No
That's the
child left
second worst
behind.
thing that he's done in this country. So it's the Afro B because I'm B and I have an afro. Welcome to my life.
No be left behind.
Somebody
Now,
should have been left behind.
B, I know you from work, being a dancer down at the Shady Pines Lounge. However, aside from your social media presence, I do not know that much about you. So let's tell the people a little about yourself. I know you online is a very funny personality on both Instagram, TikTok. Someone who's want to go on a good rant every once in a while.
Mhm.
Someone who lets the girls know what they need to be told. Someone who speaks their
Right.
mind, which is
Yes.
exactly what we want over here.
Yeah. I'm all of those things. Born and raised south side of Chicago, if you couldn't tell. Very proud of my roots. And I go through life being the beautiful and humorous and charismatic person that I am. Some people are born in this world to lead. Some people are born in this world to be doctors, to heal, to solve problems. Some of us are just here to be pretty, do a little do a little and have fun and kiki. And that's what I'm here for. As my TikTok bio says, at the Afrob, we're here for laughs. So let's laugh. Let's be fucking hysterical.
We are here for laughs. We come to this place for magic
We come to this place for magic. She ate that.
or wonder, and they're stopping it. It's not happening anymore.
You know what? I'm so sick of the misogynistic state that we live in. A
Because
woman takes
you know
all
what
she's
they
doing
really need
great
to
things and they
stop.
want to
The
what
Nicole
they need to
Kidman one
stop.
is not the problem. The problem in the before movie screenings is the Regal one. The Regal one where they go through all the damn movie quotes. I hate it. I hate it so much.
Oh
I have
yeah.
never had less fun watching a
You don't
pre
like that?
movie. No, I despise it. I hate it so much. The two girls say you can't sit with us, and he says, "So you're telling me there's a chance?" No, because she just told you you can't sit with them. There's no chance, motherfucker.
Oh, see, you just hate fun. That's what it is.
No, because I love fun. Because Nicole Kidman coming to this place for magic. Because in a place like this, th- that's fun.
Magic is a place like this. I the funny thing about the one with all the movie quotes is that I have 2 degrees in film, mind you. My bachelor's from Oberlin College, my master's from the University of Southern
Oh,
California,
come on,
cinema media
masters.
studies.
She could
It
be a
took me
doctor, a
until
doctor of
about
film,
the
a
I
professor,
you know
mind
what?
you.
And we could talk about that trauma another time. Nobody needs a PhD in film.
No.
Take it from me. We don't. There's nothing else that's left to be said. But you know what? The funny thing about that preview is, I have these 2 degrees in film, and it took me so long. It took me to about the end where I was like, oh, they're doing movie quotes.
Girl.
It took me to about the fucking end. I was like, what the? I was like, go off, Regal. We back from this little COVID or whatever. Back.
Back. And it is trying to catch up. It is, doing her best to try to catch up with us.
She catch up, baby. She lapped us.
She's still here.
She
And
lapped
she
us. We
lapped
so far
us
behind. We think we in
coming
first
around on
place,
the third one. It's
baby.
like
She
in
beating her
Mario
ass.
Kart. You know in Mario Kart when they like get the bullet bill and they go from like eighth
Mm-hmm.
place up to first place, then you start lapping bitches because you're back up front. That's COVID right now.
That's COVID, and she's a dirty bitch in Mario Kart because she throwing banana pills and everything, fucking everybody shit up.
Oh yeah. The little ink on the screen.
just the little ghost that steal all your shit. Like she just taking everything from us, and it's not fair.
I hate it. Um, I was gonna say something about Regal. You know what? I don't need to say anything more about Regal because the girls know that I am a loyal Regal member. I am. Let me check my status right now. I think I'm close to platinum. I
I
think I'm on
hope this
like
promo is paid.
but they need to start paying me.
They need to sponsor you, baby.
I've never told anyone to go to Regal. That's the problem. They need to start paying me. But I will say that I'm at Regal all the time because I like their deals, and I currently
And that's the thing about you. You're so grandfather coded.
I really am. I'm Ruby right now. I'm almost at diamond status. I need a couple more visits and I will be diamond status. I'll be a diamond member.
See, guys, I want you to pay close attention. When you're in a happy monogamous relationship, this is what you look forward to, baby. You trying to get to from Ruby to Diamond in the Regal app.
Uh-huh.
Honey, that's what being in love looks like.
Couponing at the Jewel Osco.
Couponing.
Today
That's
I picked up a watermelon for two
come
ninety
on.
nine, a pack of strawberries for 99 cents. I
In
packed
this
up
this
this Dunkin'
you
iced
could
coffee for like a
come
dollar.
on. I love a frugal king.
I love a deal. Could say I'm
You
beguiled by a
better.
bargain. I'm
You
like Delta
better.
Work. Speaking of Delta Work is like a dream podcast guest. If I could have Delta Work come give advice to the girls, that would be a lovely, lovely time.
The girls can't take advice from Delta Work. They're not going to be able to take advice from me because people that's their problem. They don't know how to listen to the truth. Everybody's in their own individual delusion, and there are certain truth speakers like Delta Work who fragments a lot of people's realities and they don't
They
like
can't
to hear
handle
it.
it. But you know what? That kind of works out for us because if the girls don't listen, they get into more drama. And when the girls get into more drama, we have more content.
We do have more content, and I'm happy to be here because it reminded me of last summer. I had did a little Instagram, the question sticker thing. I asked people to tell me, what's the messiest thing you did just between us. I won't reveal who you are. I won't say what you did, but I'm a little nosy. You know what I mean? I'm the
Mm,
kind of gossip where even though I only speak English and African American vernacular English, um, I can hear gossip in all languages.
it
It's a
has a
gift of
certain
mine.
cadence. It's got a cadence, it's got a tone. You could tell when people are talking shit.
I be tuned in. I be tuned in. And I don't presume to know that it's about me, but I know it's about some motherfucking body. And I know I'm gonna
Yes.
figure it out.
Uh-huh. I used to say it like at work, like all the dancers speak Spanish. You could tell. You could tell when they're talking about somebody.
It's just so entertaining. And I do this thing where like if I'm out in public, if somebody walks past or I'm sitting at the table out at dinner or something, if I hear I will listen to your conversation.
Oh, I love
And
listening
then
to
sometimes
conversations. And I'll talk to the people at my table about your
I
conversation.
repeat back a phrase that I heard in the conversation. The other day, I think somebody was speaking German or maybe Scandinavian, one of them original Caucasian languages.
Uh-huh.
And every turn of phrase, I was like, oh, the gas is hot in these
Said,
streets.
uh-huh. They said,
Because it's a lot going on, baby. After
we're
COVID,
sucking dick.
Venus was retrograding. People was all in their feelings. The moon was doing this, that, and the third. Had us all messed up.
Wait, Venus. I thought it was Mercury.
It was Venus went through a retrograde. I think they were both retrograding at the same time.
Does Venus affect us when it's in retrograde?
Yeah, Venus is the planet of love, baby.
Okay. And
You didn't feel a little
Mercury
sentimental lately?
is
You
the
didn't feel a little,
planet of communication. Isn't that
yeah, I think it's like
Mercury?
communication.
I think
It's like
so. That's why.
communication or and something with your brain
Is that why
up here,
when
something
Mercury is in retrograde,
cerebral.
people act up because they got problems
Right,
communicating?
exactly.
Interesting.
Maybe.
Okay.
I
Well,
don't know. I'm not a
you learn
certified
something new every
expert.
day. And you know what? Speaking of experts, we are not licensed therapists. We are not licensed professionals. The advice that we give is purely for entertainment purposes. If you're going through some real shit, the best advice is to go seek out the help of a licensed professional, be it a therapist, a psychologist, etc., etc. With that being said, let's hop into these questions.
Let's do it.
The first question is from Apollo Luna. It is a sex and love question, and they write, so I've been talking to this guy, and we are kind of in a situationship that's going good so far. Not that good
Mhm.
since they
So
wrote
far.
in so far. The thing is that we're in his bed and his phone goes off showing a grinder notification. I know we aren't in a serious relationship, but should I feel some type of way about it? Well, here's my thing. They wrote, should I feel some type of way about it? However, we know they feel some type of way about it because they wrote in about it.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, you acknowledge you're not in a serious relationship, you're in a situationship. You haven't
Mm-hmm.
had the talk. Y'all are not monogamous in writing or in conversation. You are just seeing each
Correct.
other. So you really can't be you could definitely feel a type of way about it, but you can't really do that much to act upon it aside from have a conversation with him if you think you are ready to take that step with him. Otherwise, I will say this. Jealousy is a feeling, and that is okay because feelings come and go. What's important
Mm-hmm.
is how we act on those feelings.
Mm-hmm.
Because you could feel jealous. I will give you that. You're in bed, snuggled up with him. You said, "This is my man," even though he's not my man.
Right.
You know,
It's
it,
cute.
you could
You
definitely feel
under the LED
jealous.
strip lights.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Hopefully his mattress not on the floor,
Right. If the pillow not flat,
not the
you
flat
might,
pillow.
yeah, things might be getting a little serious. You might be feeling a little something, something. Listen, I'm gonna say this is what I say to people because I feel like this is a canon event for the gays, and you can't interfere. Because regardless of what Jake and I say, I think we all know what's going to happen anyway, but I'm not going to spoil it for you. So I'll just say this everything that Jake said, if you want to be mature and go about it, the thing is, like, if you're feeling that way, like, if it made you feel a kind of way, I think before you get to any conversations, you got to sort out what you want yourself, mamas, because
That
you're
part.
also the other half of this situationship that's keeping it a situationship. And then if you don't like suddenly that a grinder notification popped up after you have not defined any kind of boundary or, I'm assuming then you just need to take a little bit more time and figure it out what it is that you want before you go start talking to somebody else and figuring out what they want. So, register the fact that, oh, I feel like, so ask yourself those questions. Why did this make me feel a kind of way? Do I feel jealous about this person? Is this somebody that I want to be with? Is this somebody on their worst day?
Yeah.
Do I want to be side by side with them? These are the questions you got to get to. I personally prefer to turn my brain off in situationships, to turn your brain off
Stay
and to just
sane.
ride the wave and act like you ain't see nothing. Ding, boop. Okay. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you have your fun, you do your thing, just turn your brain off. Don't overthink things. It sounds like you're an overthinker. You might be a Cancer, a Capricorn, maybe. So relax, turn your brain off, think about what it is that you want in the future and if that's going to match up with that person. And then when you feel good and ready, when you have a good idea, then you can go to somebody else and say, let's talk about if you're going to close this up, open it, if it's going to blah, 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 this, that, and the third. So, figure out your feelings, Pookie.
Yeah,
Come on,
did onto
Ratatouille.
all that, but truly Ratatouille. This is the one giving the advice up here. The thing is, do you want to be monogamous with this man? Here's the thing, right? So there's a difference between a situationship and casually dating someone, right?
They said
Normally,
situationship.
I know, and that's the thing that has me a little grr, grr, grr. Are they saying it and they just mean they're casually dating someone, or is it a situationship for a reason? Because a situationship is usually defined by there's something going on that is
Right.
the reason why y'all aren't dating, whether it's casually or otherwise.
Actually, and you know what?
So,
Let me say this. I'm sorry, but I feel
no,
the need
say
to. Some of you girls not built for situationships. Let me just backtrack everything that I said. I tried to come peace, laugh, and love, and I think I need to be a little bit more brutally honest because I'm sensing just quite a couple of notes of delusion in this question, and I say
it.
this with love. I'm not judging because we've been again. It's a canon event.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of this canon event, I want a lot of you girls to realize that you're not built for the situationship, and you need to go in communicating that and knowing that clearly. Some of y'all are far too emotional. Some of y'all are far too in love. If you know you want that Notebook, Titanic, the red, white, and royal gay blue movie. If you want that whirlwind romance, then you just gotta, you gotta stand your ground, mama, and you gotta do what it is. Don't try to run with the big dogs in the hookup culture, and then because then y'all be the same girls turn around. Oh, they want to do it this, that, and the third, and everybody's so toxic. You can't mute your feelings and be avoidant with them and then not address them and then let little stuff like this build up because that's what happens in these. Oh, you got to grind a notification and just just little irritations. Now you're
Pass it
feeling jealous. Now
off.
you're feeling possessive. Now the vibe is off and it's weird and you've gone and ruined a perfectly good thing. So some of you girls know you shouldn't be stepping into the situationship.
Yeah,
You're not
where
built for it. It's not for
a
you.
man
It's not your game.
a man asks you what you're looking for, and you say, "Oh, something casual, nothing serious."
I'm open.
When
They're
you
never
know
open.
damn well you are looking for love, and there's nothing wrong with that.
No,
There is nothing wrong with looking for love. But the thing is I think a lot of people have this, everyone just wants to be casual and fun and flirty and and free. But if you are really like you're down and looking for love, I think you need to just really sit in that. And if so, you gotta let people know, like, I'm looking for something serious. And that doesn't mean it's gonna get serious in a week. And if it does, that's a problem. And we'll get to that later because, you know, recent events, people trying to get serious too quick. But
I know people get serious real quick.
but uh telling someone that you are looking to like make a deeper connection, I think a lot of people think it scares people away. And people see that as a bad thing. I think it might scare people away that you don't need. If they're scared by that, that's not the person for you, babes. They're not in that space to find something serious. So,
Yeah, and if everybody's scared, maybe you're just saying it in a scary way. Maybe
well, that's different. That's different.
some of these
If
girls be
you're
like,
out here on the first date, like I want 4 kids, we got to get married after 2 years. I'm trying to find, that's a little scary. That is a little scary. Maybe we don't do that. We're not trying to end up on the Ultimatum Netflix season 4.
but
Okay.
that I was watching that with my roommate
Which
because I was like,
season?
I don't know what season it was,
Was it
but I was
lesbians
like,
or
I don't
not?
watch this silly little show. I don't, I don't do shows like this. I just heard it in the background, baby. The way I was slowly sat and I didn't move, I was like, these
Oh,
people are out of their minds,
wild.
out of their
Some of those
minds. But
people
you know
on the
what?
ultimatum were issuing the ultimatum to people that they've only been dating for 2 years. Bitch, if after 2 years you're giving me an ultimatum that we either get married or we leave, I'm leaving. 2 years?
It's it's crazy because you give somebody an ultimatum and it's like they don't want to be with you, mama.
Yeah. And then to even like take the steps to go on the show, like y'all are just ready to break up.
They were all toxic. It was so fun to watch.
Well, let me ask you this. Were you watching the lesbian season or was it one of the straight people seasons?
I was one of the straight people seasons. It was the one with like what are these people's names? There was like a AJ, I think. I don't know. I don't remember any of these people's names. But it was I maybe it was the newer one that came out, I think.
Because I just finished the season that just came out. It
Because
had
there was a real sickening like black woman on it who was just like
yes. She's younger. She's like 23, right?
what they're all young, which is
Well,
crazy. They're
yeah,
like
but she especially
25.
was young. She was in a she had the trial marriage with that white boy who looked like he could have been a cop. And then she went back to her man he has like the eyes that are popping out of his head. And he
Yeah, he
really want
was
to
like
marry her.
one of them was
And
like
he don't want her to go to the city. She wants to go to Atlanta and he wants to live in the suburbs. But girl, the gag is
I don't know.
Atlanta has suburbs. Why can't y'all just live in the Atlanta suburbs? Then she can commute to the city to do her city stuff. I don't know.
I don't know.
I took
I see
umbrage with a
stuff like
lot.
that. And some people, they, they just want to be with someone and not
Somebody.
necessarily be with the people that, they're with. They just want to be with somebody. But that's not how relationships work. So,
Um,
you know,
and it takes two
um,
to tango.
it takes two to tango. Don't step in a situationship without knowing what it is. And if, feelings change, and that's real. But then you just got to reevaluate, figure your shit out, and then when you know for sure, then you can have the conversation about how that situation is gonna look moving forward,
Yeah. Is this somebody you really
if
want
it
to
moves
build something
forward.
with? Or do you also want to get on Grinder and then you can have your fun, he can have his fun, and then y'all can meet in the middle, dance all night.
Right, dance all night.
Exactly. And then y'all could even be serious and still do that.
Right,
You know,
that's
you
what
could
I've been
say,
trying to
actually,
tell
this could be
you.
really fun. You're so sick. You're so sick. You are so sick.
The call is coming from inside the house.
No, no,
Look, you a preacher, but you won't practice it.
no, because I'm a married woman. I'm a married woman of
You
certain
telling everybody be
values.
out here, be polyamorous, open it up, have fun, be wild. Not my house.
I said if it works for you, if it works for
Not in
you.
my house.
I
You said we got good Puerto Rican love.
uh-huh.
Good Puerto Rican love. Down.
Down. A bitty bitty bomb bomb. Mm-hmm.
Come on. Selena wasn't what?
Puerto Rican.
Oh, she was Mexican.
Mm-hmm. On that note, let's move on to this next question.
Right.
Take it away.
Okay, I have the next question. Um, from Fat Bitch from SoCal. Hey girl. What advice do you have for someone that's trying to start a workout routine? In theory, this person knows what's good for them, but doesn't know how to get their ass up and get to work. Hope you have a great day. Sincerely, Mr. Fat.
So is it Mr. Fat or is it Fat Bitch from SoCal? What's the name we should go with? I think Mr. Fat is kind of cute. It's with a PH.
Right, it's a PHAT.
I like a
Something about that
PHAT.
feels so 2005 to me. I
And you
don't
know
know.
what? I can appreciate that though.
You can?
I can appreciate a 2005 moment. It's very Y2K.
Hmm.
It's coming back.
Um, you can be whatever you want to be. As Beyonce said, in thick, you better
Mm-hmm.
not lose that ass though.
Mm-hmm.
Do what you got to do, but
Yeah.
let's make sure we keeping our priorities straight. The money maker,
Mm-hmm.
because I
Did you know?
assume Mister. Go
Sorry,
ahead.
I was gonna say something
Sorry,
really
sometimes I get
stupid.
taken away.
No, it's really. I just found out recently that if you get a BBL, you have to work out in order to keep the BBL. Like you can't lose too much weight because so you get the BBL, right? Then you got to spend all this time
Mm-hmm.
in the gym building the muscle under the ass. So they redistribute the fat, they put it in the butt. Then you got to build muscle under that to keep the butt.
Mm-hmm.
And if you just don't do it, bitch, the BBL goes away. And you spent how much, $5,000, $10,000.
Yeah. There's not a lot of shortcuts, you know?
It's not.
And yeah, I'm not a BBL expert. I try to stay out of the business of the BBL community. As long as as long as you're going somewhere reputable and safe, don't let them botch you. If you
Yeah,
gotta, you know
don't
what
let
I'm
them box
saying?
you. That's the
If you
important
gotta
part.
fly somewhere and you paying $300 for your BBL, maybe not.
Yeah, let's get references. Let's
But
check
yeah, let's
reviews.
vet.
Are they licensed? But that's not what
And
Mr. Fat is asking about.
but
I
you
just
have
thought it just
Mr.
popped in my
Fat's not
head.
asking about that. You're asking about the workout routine, and part of that reason. I'm do a little fitness. I'm a little covered up today.
Okay.
I don't know how much. I don't know how much yo I can. I don't know how much people want to see,
Check the
but
Instagram.
it
It's in
took
the
me.
TikTok we posted. They can see the
Oh,
Beyonce
right.
fit. The Beyonce fit you
They'll
can
see it.
see. B
If
is
you want to
a
see the body, if you want to see the body, yada yada. If you want to keep up with the antics, if you want to, you want to kiki, how you doing? Come on over to the Instagram, follow the
mm,
TikTok. That's where the
yeah.
party is. You see all the body, you'll see all the crazy. But it took me a whole year actually to get into a workout routine. Like a whole year to switch over to incorporate going to the gym regularly, to incorporate like eating more. Like, I was on a weight gain journey. So I started in, 2020 when we were in the house in the quarantine. Cause I'm somebody, I was like, I need something to do. I'm gonna lose my fucking mind.
Mm-hmm.
So I decided to hire a coach a fitness coach who coached me virtually over, Zoom, and it was really great. And with his help, over that year, it took me a year to implement like all of the habits, on my own and actually make it my routine because it is a lifestyle change. Like you
It
got to move shit
is.
around. You go into the gym for an hour and a half, 4 days a week, 3, 4, 5 days a week. It takes up time. It takes up energy. You got to recover for the rest of the week.
Resources,
So
travel.
be kind and be patient with yourself because it doesn't happen overnight. It's not easy. And I don't think enough people talk about that. People say you just got to get up, go, you lack discipline. It's not just you lack discipline. It just takes a different kind of effort to, restructure all of that. So use Google Calendar or your iPhone calendar or something and start putting in those times that you want to go to the gym. I think it's step number one. Get yourself
Yeah.
in just the habit of doing it. Even if you go there, walk on the treadmill, because that's the other thing. It's intimidating too, right? Before I started going to the gym, people was in there doing a lot, especially if it's a Planet Fitness.
Planet, but also at Planet Fitness, people are doing the craziest things.
I did a couple months at Planet Fitness, when I was in some dark times, and I was like, oh, I got to get out of here.
My biggest advice for people trying to get into the gym is don't do Planet Fitness. People
Don't
are
do
doing
it.
some crazy, wild things in there. You've got people that have never stepped foot in a gym before, which is fine. They got to learn how to do it somehow. But then you got people who are like really gung ho about the gym and are doing the most. And there's like really
Doing
no
the
in
most.
between, and they kind of butt heads sometimes. I think the best thing you could do is find you a decent gym. I go to the Export Fitness. This is not an advertisement. This is not a pay advertisement, but it's a decent gym. They've got good equipment. The hours when it's not busy, they're not busy. Obviously when it's busy hour, it's busy hour. But people there are nice. If you
Mm-hmm.
if you need help,
I
you
hear
can
they real
always
nice.
you oh well at the one in Boys
I heard they
Town,
real nice
they
over there.
real nice over there. Down
I
at the
heard they
gauge, they're a little
real
too friendly, but you gotta watch out in the shower.
hospitable
Yeah, emphasis on
at
the
the
spit. Emphasis on the
Yeah,
spit. But this is so sick. This is so sick.
it's okay. I bring it out of everybody, baby. I bring out the dark side in everybody. Let it
But
out.
that's the true advice. Go to a gay gym. That's your motivation. Go to the gay gym and then do your little workout and then cruise because that's what you want, isn't it? It's not.
If that's your prerogative,
That's the
right?
worst
But
advice.
just yeah, get yourself get it in the calendar, do what you got to do. And if you don't have the money to pay for a coach or whatever, I think you'll be surprised. A lot of fitness coaches, physical trainers will be
They got
willing
like
to work
flex
with people.
plans.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of them work in gyms, but a lot of them do their own independent work, even if they just consult. So, you that might be an option for you. And then, I would say YouTube, some stuff people there's a lot of misinformation out there. But there are some really good fitness influencers on TikTok. My thing is I say if it's a woman who's a fitness influencer, for me personally, I found in my experience that there are more women who are giving more um healthier advice
A lot of the men are
than a
like, if
lot of
you're
the
not throwing up in the gym, you're doing it wrong. And that's
than a lot
not
of the men.
the
You know
truth.
what I mean? They're giving more holistic advice. And that's not to say all the guys who are fitness. There's some really, really good ones. I think there was like a coach, JPG or something like that. I think he's really good too. He does bodybuilding stuff. And that's the other thing. People do bodybuilding, people do Pilates, people do different kinds of stuff. So figure out what you want to do, what the goal is.
Yeah.
But my general thing is if you are new to it and you're trying to find some solid information, I think I've seen a lot of like women TikTokers who do fitness stuff who are very like who give you good tips on the grips, how to load weight, how to do the proper technique, all this, that, and the third. And it's not a lot of like, whoa.
Yes. I don't think I've ever talked about my fitness journey on the podcast. At least I don't think I think I've briefly mentioned it, but for me, it started in high school, really. So I've been at it for a while now. And in high school, I was really just going to the gym, getting on the treadmill, seeing what people were doing, and then I would
Mm-hmm.
look up exercises. So I would
Mm-hmm.
I would always come with a plan. Like I was like, I'm gonna do arm exercises today. So I would look up, bicep exercises or tricep exercises, and I would look up videos on how to do it correctly, and I would try that out. Then I had a friend. I used to go with a friend, and he taught me how to do a lot of stuff. And then it really is about building that routine, you know. For me, something that helped me get into it was I would choose an anime that I wanted to watch, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I would only watch that anime when I would do my opening cardio at the gym or my stretches. So let's say I do 10 minutes of cardio, 10 minutes of stretching, or at the beginning and end of my workout, I can only watch an episode of that anime during those 20 minutes because that's how long an episode is. And so for me, that would give me the motivation to like want to go back the next day. Like if I'm going 4 days a week, right? That would give me the
Mm-hmm.
motivation to want to go back and do it. I'm not saying that's going to work for everybody, but find yourself something that's going to keep you going back.
You're so nerdy.
I know.
You're so nerdy.
I
I
know.
I needed anime to get me through the gym.
I
It's so
did. I
cute.
did. And
I
my,
just want
my
to
my Hero
eat your
Academia really got
cheeks.
me through the gym. It did. It gave me that
That's an
motivation.
intense one.
It is intense, and that's kind of like why it was like it hyped me up. They're like always
Yeah.
training and shit. I was like, this makes me want to train. You know, I want to get big like
Yeah.
that. So Naruto was another one. You know, things that'll hype you up. Maybe One Piece is like 1,000 episodes, so you know you that'll keep you in the gym for the rest of your life, probably.
Yeah.
Maybe for
Naruto
the next 20
too.
years.
It's like
Naruto is a lot of
5,000
episodes.
episodes.
Yeah.
Crazy. This is
But
why
for
I haven't
me,
started it.
part of it was building that routine. That's the most important part. It's like, you know, when you give a dog food, if you're introducing a new food for your dog, you don't do it all at once. You don't do cold turkey. You do a little bit, see if they like it. And then if they don't like it, you got to keep trying for like a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. You
Yeah.
have to get them into getting used to it. And that's the same way you got to get into the gym. The first time you
Yeah.
go,
And you
you
know, a
might
lot
just
of
be on that
people,
treadmill. But soon
yeah, a
enough,
lot of
you'll get
people,
into,
they,
you know, weights and things.
yeah, not even just with fitness, but in general, we have bad habits. We set goals for ourselves. Like we see the end point, but a lot of people don't think about how to get there. So then you like, oh, I want to, I want to go to the gym, but then you kind of overbear yourself by, setting this really high standard of, okay, I'm going to go
Mm-hmm.
to the gym 3 times a week. And then that's a lot. That's a lot. Let's start with let's go once a week
Yeah.
for 2 3 months, and then if you have the capacity to more, okay, let's do two, let's do three, let's do four. Like it really took me a whole year. Like I was off and on. It took a whole year. Life happens. So just be patient with yourself, and most importantly, make it a positive relationship that you have with the gym, because I think that's what keeps you going back.
Yeah.
To incentivize yourself, don't be punitive. Don't say, oh, I didn't go to the gym, so now I need to work twice as hard the next time I go.
Uh-huh.
Or,
Or
oh,
I
I
can't eat
ate,
this or blah 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 blah, you
I
know.
can't eat this, or because I ate that, then now I have to, don't be punitive, be incentivize yourself, because that's how you're going to keep going. So sometimes I'm like, you
Mm-hmm.
know what, today was really stressful. I'm going to go to the gym and I'm going to do some running, and then that's going to de-stress me. And then and then now I feel happy. That's an incentive way to do it. Or, oh, I'm going to go to, just find a way to do it that keeps it healthy and not toxic, because I think that's really easy to slip into. Don't look in the mirror every day. Don't go looking for results every single day. Just keep going. You will get out what you put in. So, and trust the process.
Yeah, I think another thing for me that really helped was like I focused a lot on the endorphins that I felt when I was at the gym. It just felt good to work out for a little bit, just kind of turn my brain off, put some work in, listen to some music,
Mm-hmm.
get you a good workout playlist that'll, you know, get you hyped up. Things like that, you know, focus on like the positives. It can feel very meditative too, you know, if you're getting a really good
Absolutely.
workout in, you can really feel it. It gives you some time to think with yourself. So if you just think about it that way and think about all the good that it makes you feel versus like if it feels like a slog to go to the gym every day, why are you going? That's just torturing yourself at that point. So I think that what you
Right.
said is so true. You have to have a positive relationship with starting a workout routine. And some days it's gonna be hard. Some days you might not want to go, and that's okay. And if you do decide to like fight that and still go, work, that's part of building a routine, is like doing things even when it's hard. Things that can
Mm-hmm.
help with that, you know, for me, a good cup of coffee will get my ass to the gym even when I'm tired. Coffee or a
Amen.
pre-workout, something to like just give me a little burst of energy to get me there. Cause once I'm there, we're good. Sometimes just
Right.
getting out of your house to get there is like that's the hard part.
Yeah. Make it fun. You know what I also really love? Like when I was living in LA, I did this a lot, and during the summer here, if you want, just go walk go walk outside. Even if you don't feel like doing all that one day, just at least go get some fresh air, go walk outside. It's
Do a
harder to
bike
do that in
ride,
the
something
winter
like
in some
that.
places in Chicago.
Oof.
That you could do at home workouts, do some push-ups. It doesn't need to be strict because like nobody has a gun to your head. So make it whatever you want to make it fun, make it healthy and be happy. And also understand a lot of stuff is based on genetics. So don't go with goals thinking, oh, I want to look exactly how that bitch looks. It's not gonna happen for you.
It's gonna
I
be
want to look
different.
like a lot of bitches. I want to have some big, voluptuous double D. You know what I mean? It's just some things just aren't your ministry right away. Just give yourself some time, set some reasonable goals and reasonable expectations. Pay
Mhm.
attention to how your body is responding to certain workouts, and you'll get there with time. The goal is to be healthy, be happy. And when you're confident and when you're all of those things, you're exuding that sexiness all the time. That's
Yeah.
why so many people fall in love with me because I exude with my very, essence.
I mean, that's why Sasha Colby came to the bar the other day. We were working.
Stop telling that woman business.
But listen,
She, you ain't got to tell people where she
but
be
she was
moving. Let the girls
stunning.
come have a
She
drink. She
was
was gorgeous.
stunning. She was stunning.
She
Because
was
when she walked in,
absolutely
I was like,
gorgeous.
oh my God.
Yeah. Well,
Beautiful.
she was in well, I'll say I was dancing while she was there, so Sasha saw me bust a little move or
Uh-huh.
two.
Uh-huh. We
Although
did a shot. We did a little shot together.
oh, that's cute. You didn't get me one, but
Well,
weird.
interesting.
Yeah. Anywho, she was in Chicago for
It was
Continental,
Continental
the
Weekend. Yes,
pageant. It was a
correct. Yeah.
huge, I'll explain for some of my followers because I know they just, some of them just straight and the other half is illiterate. So it's a huge pageant that's a very big deal with lots of talented, artists, trans, queer artists, and
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
pageants are just very interesting and just the zeitgeist of American culture in
Yeah.
particular. But I think the way that especially trans women in the continental pageant have like been clearing and presenting their pageantry, their drag in very just stunning ways just for throughout the
Mhm.
years. You should really tap in. It's such a
You
it's
really
such an art
should.
form.
I know a lot of people, and this also goes for some of my followers as well. A lot of people um might be like queer, but may not interact with whether it be pageant culture or drag culture. But I really think it is worth taking a dive and looking at because the reclamation of trans women and drag performers to take something like a world that would call them not feminine or a world that would
Mm-hmm.
call them something else, right? To go and have these pageants where they put on these gorgeous
Gorgeous.
performances, these stunning showings of outfits. Um, I'm talking backup dancers singing. We got people dancing. They've got the question and answer portion showing how eloquent
Mm-hmm.
they can speak. Um, the pageantry, it really is like the peacock feathers of it all. But at its heart, it really is about reclaiming that gorgeousness, that femininity, that and showing the world, yes, we are. And I think that it's worth
Yes.
taking a look at. So if
And
you're
also
not
like
into continental, that's okay, but definitely take a look at it.
and also
You'll be
like
surprised.
you will be gagged. I think some people hear
Truly
pageant and they
gagged.
think like the old school like
Miss America shit, right? Just a little
and while
hand
there
wave.
is there is a certain decorum, there is a certain presentation. I think you really get like the talent portion. Like I went to last summer Alaska Thunderfucks, I think it was drag queen of
Drag
the
Queen of
year
the
pageant.
Year.
I
Yep.
was sitting there gagged, gagged in
Gagged.
downtown Los Angeles. People were doing 30-foot high backflips. There were strobe lights. There were like very artistic, protest movement pieces from contestants. There
Mm-hmm.
was some very like the makeup was stunning at the presentation, and people spend some good coin to enter in these like
Lots of
it's a
money.
big deal and it's a
Like
different
taking
level. And it says
loans.
like it says I've been in this game. I got skin in this game for a minute
Mm-hmm.
and I can compete with the very best of the best. It's very serious. It's very serious business.
Yes. And if
And
you are
shout out to
someone,
Godfrey, House of
shout out.
Dion.
if you are somebody who considers yourself a drag race fan but doesn't know much about pageants, I think it behooves you to look into it. If you're only exposed, if you're only what's the word?
If you're only exposure,
Exposure, that's the word. I was like exposition, that's not the word. If you're
I'm
only
here to help the
exposure,
girls.
thank you. Sometimes my vocabulary is a little. So if your only exposure to drag is through Drag Race, it really behooves you to go and look at local queens, people in your area, people in pageants and competitions. Drag is more than just Drag Race. There's a lot of beautiful shit out there. Oh, we really went off the rails from fitness advice.
I know. Fat bitch from SoCal, girl, just put that shit in your Google Calendar and take your ass to the motherfucking gym. And then when you leave,
Yeah.
just give yourself a big pat on the back and drink a lot of water.
Well, here's the
Go ahead
last thing
with your
I'll say
next one.
about it. Last thing
Oh,
I'll
go
say
ahead.
is if you do have drastic goals, because I think a lot of what we're saying is for people who just casually want to start going. But if you have a goal in mind, you want to be 185 pounds and ripped or whatever, if you have drastic goals, I think a lot of that is built in the kitchen. And for me, something that helped me when I was bulking up in college, because I used to be very skinny in high school, the thing that helped me, I started to see a dietitian. The dietitian
Mm-hmm.
told me the best ways to like both eat what I wanted to and not have to sacrifice too much of that good stuff while also building and getting enough protein and other vital nutrients to get my muscle mass up. So seeing a dietitian or somebody, a fitness advisor, as long as they're not telling you to like, I'm telling you, please season your food. You do not need to eat the blandest chicken ever. If your chicken, I've seen so many ugly pictures. Please season your food. That's the 10 calories you get from seasoning will be worth it. That's all I have
It's
to say.
yeah, that's crazy.
It's crazy. So eat good, but if you do have drastic goals, I investing like setting aside some money to get a fitness coach or a dietitian or someone to help you out to reach your goals. Um, it'll help out a lot in the end. Even if you only have them for a couple months, they'll teach you the foundational parts of it, and then you could keep on moving from that. But that's the last part. That's just for someone if you have more drastic goals. Other than
Amen.
that, if you're a casual, you want to become a casual gym goer, the rest of the advice that we said is perfect.
Yeah. If you're just trying to get thick for next summer, Bulgarian split squats. Just YouTube how to do Bulgarian split
Oh, that's
squats
yeah,
and
that's a good
Romanian
one.
deadlifts.
Yup.
And that's because I know that's what y'all how do you do a routine? You just want to know how you grow your ass. Bulgarian
Sure.
split squats,
Yup.
Romanian deadlifts, everything
Uh-huh.
that's gonna hurt you the most is what's gonna grow your ass the best, which is really fucked up.
But that's like how muscles grow is they tear and then they repair and they get bigger. Like that is how
Yeah.
muscles grow. So you should feel sore after the gym. You should.
Yes, but you
You
shouldn't
shouldn't
feel
be
hurt.
dying. You should not feel hurt. That's something's going wrong there. But you should feel
You should not feel
sore.
injured.
You should feel a little sore. You should feel like oof, and then you're fine a day after. You should not be like, girl, I can't walk for 10 days. That's something's wrong. All right. This next question is from Swedish Fish Fillet, and it is a story time. It's a little bit of a longer one. They say, okay, so I'm back on the black and yellow app. Oof, bored, horny, and a little desperate. And I come across this profile of a really nice body, but no face. And it's a DL, first red flag. He asked for pics. I send the album because I'm somewhat smart. And instead of returning, he asked for my snap. Second red flag. I'm like, okay,
That's a
so we
red flag.
migrate, we message, he's cool, whatever. Then he hypes me up and asks for videos of me and some performance art. That's a third red flag because who is asking for specifics and why am I not peeping this? Hindsight is 2020, right, girl? So I'm smart enough to say you first. He sends two videos and a face. So I'm like, okay, party. I send him everything. We continue messaging. He's still cool. And when I bring up meeting, that's when the messages come in longer lengths of time. Then fast forward, I check the snap. His pictures are deleted. My videos are saved? Question mark. Oh no, I say. I could be sad, but instead I work fast. I used to be a crazy bitch. So this was just another Tuesday. This is just another Tuesday. Many moons ago. Wait, girl, what? Many moons. This was just another Tuesday many moons ago? Question mark. He's 2 miles away. I had a name, an alias, and a face in mind, and some descriptors. I have two friends who are cops in my city.
Now pump the motherfucking brakes.
We could get to it later. Hold on. I have two friends who are cops in my city and some friends who are gang related and do not judge and protect me. I relay the info and become aware that I simply cannot track. So I
I feel like we about to
this is a
become
mess.
implicated in a crime.
I know. I'm like, this is wild.
In a crime.
I relay the info and become aware that I simply cannot track, so I follow. If he's 2 miles away, let me walk until he's closer. So that's what I did. After an hour of
This is
walking and
insane.
circling, I got lucky and came across a building that was within feet. I got permission from one of my boys to use his pics and lure the guy in. I waited, I chatted, I loomed in the dark cloud of my Honda Civic. Those were quality videos that I'm not letting see the light of
Honda
day until I'm
Civic.
ready and able to monetize. Then he finally told me, using a fake profile, that he's going to step out for a few and handle errands. I'm like, okay, it's go time. I text him and wait till I know it's him by watching him check his phone, alert my friends, and run up on him. I didn't fight him. It was a very peaceful, quote unquote, exchange. My friend arrived in a nice black and white car, and the guy, who was not the guy in the pictures, mind you, said that he would delete. Whether he did or not, I felt like something was accomplished today. Some may call me crazy and call this a waste of 4 hours, but after that ordeal, I feel good with sparkle emojis on both sides. I do not know why people catfish. I do not know why people collect private things that are not theirs. But after today, I pray for the next individual that tries to catfish me. They will be met with nothing but wrath. There's a lot going on here.
I think I'm gonna say this. I think this is insane. But as a Scorpio, I I have to commend them for the absolute dedication to getting their lick back.
I have to applaud it. The
Sometimes you
gumption
gotta
that they
respect the
have.
insanity a little bit.
This is not the approach I would have taken. So you may
The
not know
methods are
this.
certainly unorthodox.
You know, they saw both sides. They enlisted help from the cops and the game bangers in their city. Both sides, and said, "Help me find this man." That is
That was
wild.
a lot to process.
That was a
That was a
lot.
lot to process. But you know, it is a shitty thing to do. Like,
It is.
it's a shitty thing to do because, first of all, it's 2023. If you have to catfish, make your peace with being. Okay,
Listen,
I'm
there's
gonna
a key.
say
There's a key
something.
for every lock. You don't got
I'm gonna say
catfish. There's someone for
something,
you, sister.
and it's not gonna be nice.
Okay.
Disclaimer.
That's
And
okay.
to some people, it's gonna sound like I'm this mean, judgy, superficial person, and I'm not. That's not who I am. But, but if you feel in the look department, right? If you just feel like you're ugly, where you can't get somebody with the mug that Ma and Pa gave you, then you just gotta call it quit, babe. You just gotta call it quit because there's no reason, there's no point in catfishing because at some point the truth will prevail. And I kind of feel like
Mm-hmm.
when you're catfishing at this point, it just gives such a ominous vibe. You know what I mean? Like, what are you? This person's gonna show up thinking they're meeting someone else. Are you trying to kidnap people? Maybe if you've been on Twitter recently.
We'll get into it.
We'll
Kidnapping
talk about that maybe
for
another time. But
Barcelona.
I just feel like, I mean, and then some people do it to scam and get money. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
so, but it's just like you gotta, I don't want to be a victim blamer, and I'm not blaming you because it's a shitty thing to do, but pay attention to the red flags. Um, don't, and also they said something where they're like they sent video pictures or something, and then you sent everything. Just send them the face or check out the Instagram or
Yeah.
and then go with your gut. Most importantly, I feel like if you're like, oh, something's off about this
If it
person,
feels wrong, it probably is wrong.
that's what you can't afford to give people the benefit of the doubt, is what I've learned. If you
Yeah.
think something is off, you got to trust your instincts, mama. Okay. Mother Nature gave
Mm-hmm.
those to you for a reason to keep you here.
Mm-hmm.
You got to use those
Self-preservation.
instincts and know when people playing around.
Yeah. Also, keep it on the apps. That's what I'll say because now if you can't like screenshot shit on the app no more. If it's a picture, it'll block it out, right? And I'm sure I'm sure people find a way around it, but for the most part, the Black and Yellow app has ways of blocking people from downloading your pictures, your videos, and whatnot. So
Mhm.
I think moving to Snap, like they said here, second red flag, but yeah, migrating to another app where you can't really verify them as much. And if you are on Snapchat and they just send you a face pic,
Right.
now you can't even verify really if that's them unless you were to do like a video call, right? Because
Right.
people can just upload the photos through a third party app to make it look like they just took that photo right now. So
Crazy.
it's some crazy shit out there. And
It's
I'll
just
say
it's too
this,
it's too much out here.
it's a lot. This is not really the what I would have taken. I like, I'm very tech savvy. I like to find a tech savvy approach to things. So when my ex was catfishing the internets pretending to be me, the first thing that I did was try to get him in a Trojan horse, right? So I had an IP tracker and I got him to click it. So I had disguised it as like a photo link or something, and I got him to click on the website, to I really paid off the hubris of the catfisher, because to catfish you have to have a certain amount of hubris. You got to be overly confident in yourself because you think you're not going to get caught, and you could trip someone up like that. Because if they think
Right.
they'll never get caught, they can get a little messy. So I got him to click this link. The
Okay.
link really tracked his IP address. Then it was only a matter of checking the IP address. I used a private eye. I had paid him $50, 25. He didn't charge me much. It was 25 or $50. I said,
You
whose
said you
IP?
paid a II? What's a
A
II?
private eye.
Oh, a
Like
private eye,
like
like a
Jessica
private
Jones, a
investigator.
private investigator. Yeah, Inspector
Oh my God.
Gadget. I was in dire straits. I paid him. There are other ways to check an IP address, but I said I want to make sure it's right. I want to make
Okay.
sure it's right. So I paid him. He checked the IP address. He gave me the last name back and the first name, the address, all that stuff. He gave it all to
Oh my
me. I had
God.
confirmed who it was. And then instead of confronting, I didn't confront like this. I went straight to the lawyer. I sent the cease and desist. And that was it.
That's so kind.
I you know,
A
I, t-
cease and
I
desist.
took a little bit of the higher route. I wasn't triangulating locations on Grinder to get 2 miles away, to feet away. I wasn't doing all that. I do applaud it. I do applaud it because this was a way to find. You found out it took you 5 hours, but you found it out. That is
I feel
cool.
like I feel like you girls, y'all playing in another league, another game. Cause me personally, I'm like, oh shit, I chop it up. We charge it to the game. It is what it is
Oh, I
at
couldn't.
that point.
I could not. My ex was vehemently. He was like digging his feet in, pretending to be me online, slandering my name, really trying to drag me through the mud here.
Oh my goodness.
He had like pictures of me. He was saying slurs to people. He was saying
What kind of
MAGAs,
slurs?
all the slurs. He was on
Oh
other
my
dating
God.
apps pretending to be me. He was making fake Twitter accounts, slandering. I had to report a bunch of shit, and it's been enough. I did the IP Trojan. I found out who it
Honestly,
was.
just maybe it's some things out here in this dating pool, y'all. Like people are losing their minds.
You know,
Okay. And they've been losing them for a while, but it's getting a little spooky.
it's something about men under 5'5". They just have a higher propensity to be crazy.
Now, now I appreciate a pocket poppy,
I
as my
do.
followers
I'm
well
just
know.
saying they have a higher propensity for craziness.
They do be a little, they do be a little screws be loose.
Something about being that close to like your center of gravity just a little
The
lower. It
closer
just
to
it
hell they are.
it
Yeah.
messes a little bit with your head. I'm telling
Satan
you,
just has a
a
stronger
stronger
tool because they're
hold.
closer down there to the
Exactly.
ground.
Uh-huh. And it makes you
Halfway,
do
basically.
things. It makes you do things. Yeah. So there's that. But Swedish fish fillet, you had a mission. You
And
accomplished
that's the
it.
thing too, because I'm like, it's 2023. Catfishing people with all this technology, like it doesn't even require much. Like people will find you. People could find anything anywhere from what you
Yeah.
post. So, you gotta be,
I mean, look at me. I found it from my it was very man in a chair,
yeah.
like
You just gotta
Spider-Man,
be, you just gotta take the
Batman.
hit. Don't be catfishing people. Just stand in your ugly.
Yeah,
Live your
and
truth.
you know what?
Because,
Because you might be ugly
somebody's
to
ugly as
yourself.
someone else's
Someone's pretty.
pretty.
Exactly. See, there's a like I said a couple episodes ago, you could be the juiciest peach of the world. It's always gonna be someone who's allergic to peaches.
Somebody will take a bite out of it.
Somebody will take about it. Exactly.
Somebody
So
take a little nibble. All right. I'll
be
do.
who you are. For
Oh, we
your
have another story
pride.
time.
Don't hide. Yeah. We got one more story time. And then after that, we'll do the second segment. We'll do the
Okay, hold
second
on.
segment,
Before we
Advice to
do
the
this, let me grab my
Stars.
charger because this bitch about to die.
Oh, hell. All right, grab it. Today's episode is brought to you by our good friends. Oh, it's not actually brought to you by our good friends at Duncan. It is brought to you by our good friends over at our good friends at home, all of you, the viewers. I'm cutting this out of the actual episode. So if you got this in the YouTube video, that's just how it's gonna be. So it's gonna be in the YouTube. If you're watching the
Oh
YouTube,
my
this
god,
today's episode is brought by you.
I forgot that you're streaming live and that this will also be on YouTube. LOL.
Yeah. Uh-huh. It's a little break. Today's episode was brought to you by
Today's episode was brought to you by.
our friends over at the Raid Shadow. If I get a Raid Shadow Legend sponsor, that'll be the damn day. That will be the damn day. Our friends over at Buff Slow Bro. Our friends over
Okay, I'm ready.
at Gay Little Yeti. And our friends over at yeah. Yeah, over at the Geeky and Kinky. Okay, we're back.
Okay,
So
come on. All right. Story time titled
from
Bad
bad
Idea Maker. And pay attention because I'm going to show you girls how to read.
I'm gonna take
If
that
I
bitch to
mess up, though, you have to
college.
edit it out of this before I send you a cease and desist, okay?
Oh my god. Okay, we'll see. Let's see.
Don't play with me.
We'll see.
I'll start playing Disney music right into this microphone. Get
Not
you
that.
DMCA real motherfucking
Not
quick.
that. Not that.
I'll start playing Beyonce real quick. They snatched that shit down. Have you noticed that ever since Elon bought Twitter, people have been getting less DMCA? Like, I don't know what was going on, but
I think
like
he just
everything
broke
is
it.
being posted.
Everything is posted. They're
I'm
not
surprised he hasn't been sued.
I could feel it
Anyway,
coming.
bad idea maker. Speaking of bad idea makers, this story time.
Elon Musk.
This was like 7 years ago, I think. I love people who write the way that they just speak.
Right. Train of thought, just off the cuff. They write how they talk. I love it. You can
It's
hear
so
the cogs are
revolutionary.
turning, right?
It's so revolutionary. I love the comma splices and everything. I was still living with my parents out in rural America and could not host hookups. That's real. How rural are we talking? Honestly, that word is even hard for, that shit is just rural, rural,
Rural,
rural,
rural,
rural. Um,
ruple.
okay, what was I saying? Oh,
Could
you
not
couldn't
host
host the
hookups.
hookups because you
Yes.
lived in bumfuck
Rural.
America,
Yeah, mumblefuck,
probably
basically.
Indiana,
Idaho,
Idaho, or something
Idaho,
like that.
Idaho DL top.
Yeah, something about this is giving potatoes. I had been chatting with a guy on an app, we probably know which one,
Of
who is
course.
staying in a nearby town for work. He was in a hotel, but his company had booked everyone with roommates, so he could not host either.
Broke ass
So we made a
company.
decision. I come to his town and pick him up, and we'd go hook up at the park by the nearby lake. Now, girl, doing the picking up and the stopping, driving around and dropping back off is a lot.
Yeah,
And I know you was probably down bad in the cornfields of middle America. But let's be
out in
fucking for real.
out in
Okay.
Aurora.
But I could see how you thought it was going to be romantic next to the lake and everything. This is a safe space. I'm not judging, but don't do this shit again.
Yep.
You just setting yourself up for Jeffrey Dahmer. You just gonna go pick him up and take him to the fucking location where he was gonna dump your body. Come on now, girl. This is
Did
my
all the
thing with
work
the
for
gays.
him. Did all
This
the
is my
work for
thing.
him.
Y'all be walking them right up to the doorstep. Shit.
I'll time
Okay. That's
myself up.
okay.
Shit.
I'm glad you're safe and you could submit this, and hopefully, we'll see how it turns out. But we had to do it late at night because we couldn't risk getting caught by anyone. So around midnight, I picked him up at a gas station in this town and we drove out to the park by the lake. I feel like you fully picked up an unhoused person, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Oh my
No
god.
shame.
We gotta finish the read the story. We will give our
It's
advice
just kind of crazy.
after.
I'm sorry. It's just kind of crazy.
I know
Okay.
it's crazy, but we'll
We
get
chose
there.
a spot
We will get
surrounded by
there.
woods because it's more discreet in case anyone would be driving by. We'd be harder to notice. It
Mhm.
was a really good time, a really fun time. But the next day, I had an awful realization. Uh-oh. I had little bumps everywhere, and I mean everywhere in all caps. I at first was worried it was an STI, but the bumps were on my arms and legs too. So I figured it. Oh, I figured it. I figured it wasn't herpes or anything, but I itched real bad. And that's when I realized I had mosquito or some other bug, I don't know, bites all over me. Now, I've never been the kind of guy to have common sense, and I really wish I was, especially in this case. I decided to do what I do with any bug bite. I grabbed the first aid spray out of the medicine cabinet. The bites were all over me, so I sprayed all over me, my back, my arms, my legs, my torso. And I figured since the bites were everywhere, I should spray everywhere. But the second that spray hit my dick and balls, I screamed. It hurt so bad. It burned and it stung and it made me want to cry. It was horrible. Since I was already in the bathroom, I hopped in the shower to try and rinse it off or whatever, but that didn't help at all. The hot water honestly just kind of made it worse. Basically, too long, don't read. Please learn from my mistakes. If you're having sex in the woods at night, put on some bug repellent first. And if you're spraying first aid spray on your body, don't do it on your genitals.
See, because bug spray has a cooling effect. If you're going to spray it places, you have to know that it's going to have that cooling effect. It's going to feel a little funky on your balls. Second of all,
So
why did he go straight to bug bite and not like a poison sumac or something like that? Not like a rash or something?
I listen. First of all, let's just this could have turned out this started out as a horror story. I felt like I was reading a goosebumps story. The girls
Right.
may not know about that because they struggle reading and things like that.
Hooked on phonics.
But I think if at the end of this you just walked away with some mosquito bites and they tear your ass up, I just hope at the end of the day the dick was worth it. That's what I was waiting on at the end of this story. You didn't tell us if it was worth it or not. You didn't
They said
say,
it was a really good time, a really fun time. They
okay,
doubled
I mean,
down. Not just was it really good, it was really fun. So I'm assuming it was worth
so
it.
I guess with being that, can I ask what's the most out of the ordinary place that you may have frolicked a
And you
bit?
know, I will say, I don't know if I've ever told this on the podcast before. I did at one point have a three-way on an abandoned railroad track. However, and there were lots of bugs. I I personally did not get bit up like this. The bugs were about. I definitely was smacking some gnats out of the air,
So like
but
were you like actually on the tracks?
we were on the
I need a
tracks.
visual.
It was abandoned. So okay. So here's the visual. There's an overpass, right?
Mm-hmm.
Next to the overpass is a playground. with a
Mhm.
trail leading down. So if you walk down that trail, it'll take you to these abandoned railroad tracks. They're covered in moss. There's overgrowth. There's grass all around. It's during the daytime, one would say it's probably a popular hiking destination. You could walk your dogs, take a
Mhm.
jog, things like that. So this was where it took place. So it wasn't like there was any train that was going to be coming through at any point. It was fully abandoned. It was now closer to like a public park. So we walked down the
Mhm.
trail onto the train tracks. We said, let's walk down a little bit, fooling around. Let's keep moving, fooling around. Let's keep moving. Let's keep fooling around. We found a good little place. We stopped there. And I remember this because I had a leg up on the train tracks. So we were on
A
the
leg up.
tracks, a leg on the
I know
train
that's right.
tracks. So
Better for full mobility, you know?
exactly. And I do remember this. A lady was walking her dog, and we did have to like jump out of the way and hide while she passed by. And then we came back out and we finished our business. But I did not get bit up like this. So that's why I'm like, are you sure it was bug bites and not like a rash from a poison sumac or a poison ivy or something like that? I guess not.
Maybe.
But yeah,
Maybe it could have well been. I mean, like I feel like we're missing certain details because it's like, were you standing up the whole time, like up against a tree? Because then, like, if it's over your arms or something, then it might be bugs. But if you like lay down in some grass or something, then it might be some poison ivy. And I
yeah.
feel like if that's your hometown and you're from there, I feel like you should know about nature.
Or
Like
if not
you don't have
poison
an
ivy,
excuse like big city people to
I
not
don't
know what, like,
know.
you know what I mean? Like,
There's a lot of plants that they're not like poison ivy, but they are vaguely irritants to your skin. They may not give you a full rash like a poison ivy that'll last like 2 weeks, but there's a lot of plants out there that will be irritable to your skin. So
well,
it could have been a mix of a
let me
couple
just say
things.
this. I'll say two things. One, there was one time, I don't know, you know the Dr. Bronner soap.
Yeah, with all the words on the back.
Yeah, I washed up with that one time and you rub that all over.
Did you dilute it?
Things opened that I didn't know could open. And I know a lot of things can open.
It's that
Pause.
peppermint. It's got that peppermint.
That was crazy.
It's like poppers for your
The
body.
second thing that I'll say is, picking, going, drive the whole story from beginning to end. He kind of had a wishy washy kind of, oh, I'm at a hotel, but I can't host kind of thing. Pick me up at the gas station. It was given wife and kids, maybe,
Yeah,
maybe.
roommates. The company was giving roommates. It sounds like
And that's
he
the
he came
thing.
with his wife and kids.
Sketchy hookups can really go one way or another. They're either, oh, like,
Mind
who the
blowing.
fuck is this? Just get so bomb. You know what I mean? They can go bomb. They can be really good, or they can be really, really bad. I feel
Hmm.
like there's not much in between. So I'm happy that yours turned out well. If all you got was some bug bites after some real good
Listen,
schlong, boom, boom, bam, bam, then hey, a win is a win. And I'm happy
all
you
that.
got yours.
Of course. They did say they were somebody who doesn't have common sense, and I really wish that on everybody. Common sense is not so common as they often say.
Nah,
Um, this could,
it's not.
not necessarily street smarts is what they needed. Maybe like wood smarts, rural America smarts, rather than street smarts
This
necessarily.
is saying you got to know the plant. You have to know the plants. But
Wilderness
I
expert, a Boy Scout could have helped.
when I drove, and I'll say that I don't, I'm not judgy because I've had my fair share of places.
So, wait, I
Okay.
answered. You never gave me what's the most unorthodox place you've ever had a hookup in?
Okay, at this point, and maybe I'm gonna sound like a whore, but it is what it is. I've lost what sense of what unorthodox kind of is. And I know I asked the
Well,
question,
unorthodox could be
but
different for us. For gay people,
yeah,
unorthodox is
I
different.
feel like I've been
Straight people be
such
like
in
the
a gay
car.
echo chamber where
Same.
I'm like, to some people it'll sound really mild, to some people sound really tame, but it's just been like a plethora of places. So done um I've done rooftop bars.
Okay.
Um, there's been a couple cars, but I have rules for cars. I mean, I
Mhm.
don't do so now, but back in my day, I have rules for cars. You got to give me a minivan,
Uh-huh.
a pickup truck, a SUV, let the seat
Some with a
down, or
little room in
something.
it.
I'm not doing it in the Toyota Prius.
No, never that.
I need to lay down.
Mm-mm.
Somebody's got to lay down something. We're not doing that.
Mm-mm.
It hasn't been in. I've I've done near the beach, not actually in the sand, because I was like, maybe this is going to be a little
The bird
messy.
sanctuary.
No, not the bird sanctuary.
Okay, because I know
This
how
was
the
in LA. It
I
was a
know.
much nicer
Okay,
beach, actually.
I know how the
It was
girls get down at the bird sanctuary.
it was an LA beach, so it was a
Shoot.
little bit more elevated. You know what I'm
Okay,
saying?
got you. Not the lake beach.
But you frolic when it's a red hot American summer to be young,
Um,
to be
red, white,
homosexual.
red, white, and boy hole blue.
You have to, okay.
Yep.
You
Yeah.
got to let loose, have some fun. So I'm glad you had that, but yeah, I'm glad it went the good way and not the bad way for you.
Yeah.
Um,
Speaking
that's crazy.
of the beach, I was at the beach the other day, and so I usually go to the beach after I go to the gym. I'll just go to the gym, I'll bike up to the beach, I'll spend like an hour there, I'll read a comic book, I'll dip my toes in the water, I'll wash off
Mm-hmm.
in the lake water to get that sweat off and just cool down a bit. Now, after I was done at the beach, I went to the bathroom at
Mm-hmm.
the comfort station, as they call it. And I'm in there. I got my bike next to me because I didn't feel like locking it up. So I just got my bike next to me in the urinal. I'm washing my hands and I see someone at the corner of my peripherals waving their hands. Now, podcasting is an audio medium. So if you're not on the video version of this, I'm going to try my best to describe it. He was doing this signal, hand up to his forehead, waving it, then pointing at his eyes, and then pointing them around. So I am not understanding what the hell this means. And B, you're looking at me crazy. That's the look I was giving
Oh my
this
God.
man. So I'm drying my hands off, thinking something's wrong. I start looking around. Do I have something on on my foot? Do I have something on my face? I look in the mirror. There's nothing there. I'm like, this man is just making crazy signals at me. I was like, is this sign language that I'm unaware of? So I asked, is he deaf? And then he says, no, he keeps doing this signal. I'm like, can I help you? He says, are you looking? That's when he whispered it finally. I was like, I don't understand what the fuck you're talking about. So that's when he finally said, are you looking? And this was just in the comfort station at the beach. And I said, no, baby, I'm good. And then I hopped on my bike and biked home. But I don't know where I wanted to go with this. I just thought it was the weirdest thing that ever happened to me.
Well,
That it
between the export and the beach, it seems you keep finding yourself in little horny little places.
Listen, I can't help it. They find me and then I always have to just tell them no.
It's hard when you're sexy. Look at you. You
It
got
is
thick
hard.
eyebrows.
It's
You know,
difficult.
for it's difficult. The
It's
whole
difficult.
little Spanish Italian look, but you're Puerto Rican.
And you want to know the weirdest thing? When I went in the beach, I saw him look at me and he had his friend with him. And bitch, I felt like it was in the army. They were like, hand up and boom. Like, like in our movies, when they're trying to tell them to like move out, but they're trying to be quiet about
Yeah,
it. It was very
yeah.
that. They were like, all right, move
You
out.
better than me because I would have pulled out my mace.
Listen, if I had mace, because I'm like, why are both of you this is a lot of work.
Listen,
We're at the
where I'm
beach on a
from,
Tuesday afternoon. It is 2 p.m. What is going on here?
the gays need to have decorum. I feel like every time I go out, there's no couth, there's no class, and it's just people just say the wildest things.
No
And
home
sometimes my
training.
favorite thing to say to people is, what makes you think that was an appropriate thing to say to a stranger? Because I feel the need to remind you, you don't know me
Yeah,
to be
that's a
whispering
stranger.
expletives in my ear, to be whispering
Listen,
anything in my ear. You don't
mhm.
know me. Actually, I have to tell this because I was
Hello.
after I won
Tell.
Chanel Mercedes
Oh,
Benz's
I was
loose
gonna bring this
wrestling
up.
competition.
You are the winner of the Lube Wrestling competition. Congrats,
Yeah.
everyone. Quick pause for applause. If you're listening to the podcast, give a little applause. Okay. Okay, you won the lube wrestling competition. Okay, what happened
I won the
next?
lube wrestling competition. It was yeah, we wrestled in a gay club and a kiddie pool of lube. I had 3 matches. I won all three. It was a little bracket thing. You win, you move on to the next thing. And I was competing as a twink in the twink category. And let me tell you, the people were against me. They thought I was gonna get flipped over, tossed around. I'm a little, they see just
A
like,
little
oh,
slender.
dainty thing, little dainty thing. I was
Hmm.
flipping and tossing them bitches around in that lube. Because
Okay,
you see the,
okay. You see the abs?
I'll show you. That's for YouTube only.
She might be slender, but she will fuck
Just,
you over.
I'll, anyway, I won that, collected my prizes. I went home to shower because I was covered in lube. I went home to shower. I went out to Charlie's and I was with some friends and like I'm dancing with one of my friends and we're having a good time. And I just feel this like these hands go around my waist. And if you know Charlie's in Chicago, and it was probably like 2 a.m. at this point. So it was
Hmm.
crazy.
Yeah.
I turn around and then like before I even like process what's happening, I turn around and I feel like a little doop, a hit on my head.
Oh,
His his baseball cap, the brim of it knocked against my head. That's how close he was standing to me.
oh my
If
god.
that wasn't jarring enough, like I felt it was wet
Oh,
across my forehead. Like I felt something damp on my forehead.
that sounds like Charlie
I get a good
Chicago.
look at him, drenched in sweat. The first words out of my mouth is like the sweaty baseball cap is insane. How are you sweating that much? The brim of your cap is soaking wet.
That
How?
is like
So
beyond soaked through. If it's
on a
reaching from your head
scientific
up to the
curiosity
brim,
level, just very I'm like, what is causing this man to sweat so much? Like, because like it's hot, it's not that hot where your baseball cap is soaking. So
drugs.
I start to like go look down. He's wearing a pullover sweater in the club. A Cubs it was red, white, and blue.
It's summertime. Why are you in a Cub sweater?
This thick sweater, this thick sweater. And I'm like, that's crazy. I'm looking down these big baggy jeans. I get to his feet. Do you know what fucking shoes he was wearing?
Crocs.
Worse. He was
Chanclas.
wearing those big red fucking boots that were
Not the
going
boots.
viral on
The
TikTok.
Astro Boy 3000s.
He was wearing the fucking red Astro boots in the baseball cap, fitted cap,
Baseball cap, Cub
pull over
sweater.
cups. It's all red, white, and blue, by the way. Blue jeans
That's Red,
and the
White, and
red
Boyhole
boots.
Blue. He's making a statement.
I had never felt so offended. Listen to me. I had never felt so fucking offended in my life. I was like, the fact you came up here so bold, put your arms around me and everything. I look in his face. This man looks at least 38 years old.
Oh my god.
I said, and you can call me childish if you want to. I
And
looked at that
there's
outfit.
nothing wrong with 38. My boyfriend is
I
38
put
years
my hand on
old.
his shoulder. I said, baby, I'm good. You can walk away. Not that
Good.
fit.
Good.
Not the way that I be. I was just
But
like, is this really
also
like you really thought
the audacity to just grab someone by the waist like that you do not know. Because normally, if I'm in Charlie's and someone grabs me by my waist, it's either one of the drag queens I know, one of the go-go boys that I know, or some other performer, a friend of mine, one of the
that
bartenders
I
that
know?
is coming up behind me and just is like trying to be funny and just grabs my waist. And then I turn around and it's someone I know. If I turn around and it is a complete stranger, banshee, I'm going, ah! I'm
Some people
screaming.
have too much confidence. It's like wearing that fit, like, oof, like, okay, express yourself, baby. Don't come expressing that over here, though. Not grab me all up on my waist, sweaty
Sweating
mess. And I can only imagine what those boots smelled like when he pulled them off at the end of the night.
from
I could
under,
only imagine. I
from
could
under.
imagine him getting knocked out and killing everything in a 5 mile radius. I could imagine. I could imagine
Wait,
it burned
what kind
a
of
new
pants did he
hole
have
in
on?
what's left of our ozone layer. He pulled them fucking boots off, and more ice caps started fucking melting. This is fucking crazy. Hot as fuck in those boots. I said, this is crazy, crazy.
Funk, the funk of 40,000 years. Wait, what pants did he have on? I'm curious. Shorts,
They were just baggy
pants,
blue jeans,
baggy
baggy
blue
blue jeans.
jeans with the red boots.
There was a theme. There was a red, white, and blue theme, and he certainly stuck to. I guess because it was Labor Day.
Is that like
I don't know,
is Labor
or
Day a
Labor Day
patriotic
weekend.
holiday?
This is America. It's all, they find a way to make everything star spangled.
I guess. Well, it's whoever that man is. Submit a
Don't do that
story
shit
in the
again.
inbox. That's all I gotta say. The inbox is open.
Yeah,
Submit
let's hear
a
your point
story.
of view.
I want to hear it. I'm curious. I just want to know. And on that note, we're gonna take a quick break. We're gonna come back with the advice to the star segment, and then we're gonna end the show.